Sometimes you just gotta let the rain stop and maybe things will get better. Like I said yesterday, you gotta just hope and have faith, and why not try? That's what I talked about yesterday. Today is 2018, January 11th, Thursday. It's about 9 or 10 in the morning. Maybe 10, I don't know, maybe 10. But made my first video with my face. Now this is a video with not my face. But I was copying some of the letters that I got from people since 2008 over the years, not before 2008 probably, because that was in another hard drive that I already copied kind of. Before that, maybe I lost it or it actually got deleted or something in another hard drive. Maybe when I was in Hawaii, Revolution, Hawaii, 2007, 2008. But don't know if I can recover that, but I'm a little bit sad about that. But that's what I can remember. I don't know exactly what happened as far as, what happened to my old birthday cards, Christmas cards, other kinds of things. I don't know. Don't know exactly, but was copying some of the last surviving ones that I do have, surviving letters and stuff that I got from people over the years, last 10 or more years or something. Also some letters like missionary updates from some of the people I knew from college, Bible college and stuff. And oh, it's still raining. Okay, don't call me Noah if you don't know. Okay, like I said, 2018, January 11, Thursday. I'm Oatmeal Arnold. This is a private diary, not to be entertaining or anything, just to document my life a little bit each day. Saw my dad this morning in the living room looking at stuff, doing laundry probably. The washer and dryer was on this morning, so it's probably him. I don't know, him or maybe other people in the house. Don't know, but not really important. But I was thinking about doing it myself, and sometimes I wonder. I feel a little bit like I'm in a cage, like in jail. I was in jail one time, and Robin Baker threw me in jail. Kinda. Yes, totally. I just say kinda because I'm trying to say like it's a long story. If you don't already know the story, I talk about it, I write about it. But I wasn't guilty, but then I pled guilty because they kind of got me over something that wasn't really a crime. But that's too bad. Anyways, for today, I'm just gonna continue to do stuff, work on stuff. Still want to think about a bank. I don't know if I really want to join a bank because of the maintenance fees, yearly fees, whatever money that you have to pay kind of thing. I mean, obviously things cost money, and even Bitcoin costs money for transactions. When you're doing stuff like buying Bitcoin, selling Bitcoin, those kinds of transactions, you can imagine what it's like in a stock market or something when you're doing investing and stuff. That's what Bitcoin is in some kind of way, but it's a thing that's not like a dollar, because they're not going to continue to print more Bitcoin like they can print more dollars. But that's what they've been doing with normal money that's centralized, and it mostly comes from Rothschild family. The Rothschild family, they control a lot of banks and stuff. The biggest banks in the world kind of thing for the last 300 years or maybe more. Last like 300 years, like since the 1700s or so. So you gotta go look it up if you don't already know. But for this update, I say it's difficult to sleep a little bit because I'm dreaming about crazy stuff. I don't know what kind of stuff. I have some diary logs. Dream journals. And so I try to keep track of everything I'm doing. Not everything, but as much as I can. What I'm eating, what I'm dreaming, what I'm doing. Maybe some of the Steemit posts, because I post these things on steemit.com and sometimes on other websites like Gab, Minds, Medium, Facebook, Twitter, all the other websites. Not all of them, there's some of them. I try to do that, but mostly Steemit nowadays. As far as 2018 goes, it's only been steemit.com where I share stuff. Last year, it was other websites too. So that's good for you and for me to share stuff and do stuff online, but you should also do stuff offline too. I think it's difficult to do both, but if you can do stuff both ways, both places, you can do better in life. You can do more, help other people better when you do stuff online and offline. People either do things. People either do things one way or the other way. People either do things just online or they do things just offline. Mostly online or mostly offline. It would be good to be able to do things, as much as possible offline and online, obviously, but it takes a daily habit and everything to master these kinds of things. You do what you can. It's raining and stuff. I was told to go back to the yellow house and do more weeding around the shed. Okay, I could do that, and maybe we'll go back to Chinaman's house in Forest Grove, and maybe next week Chinaman's house in Portland, like we did 2 weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, probably 2 weeks ago. And maybe I'll get paid a little bit of money, but that would be good. But I don't know. It's difficult to see what should be done, but you gotta, in life you gotta do what you can and make sure you have stuff just in case. Like I try to keep the letters just in case, but then I try to make copies, like the letters from like birthday letters and stuff that I get from people. So I try to do that. I try to keep hard copies and then digital copies of my stuff, photos, documents, all kinds of stuff. And sometimes you make mistakes and stuff, or stuff happens and you're not able to keep it in, and sometimes you keep too much or too little. What I wanted to say, Mom, I want to say, hey, I think if I tell you that I need help with something, maybe it's because I need help. Like you can tell me that to do something, and if it was just a normal thing, I'd probably do it. So why would I be telling you to help me, like say for example with finding a bank or something, or should I have a normal bank, online bank, or a little bit of both? If I have a normal bank, can I handle all the money that I have to maybe pay for, whatever that you have to pay for, like every month, every year, or maintenance fees or transaction fees or whatever that there might be. Like with the Key Bank, for example, it's like $40 or something a year, which is not a lot of money if you're making a lot of money, but it would be if you're not making a lot of money, if there's no guarantee for some people. For me, I don't know exactly who I am in that context, or who I will be, kind of thing. But when I ask people for help or something, it probably means that I can't do it myself. To an extent, obviously I can do a lot by myself, but you know, like if I ask for help, which I do sometimes, it's because, you know, I want people to be part of my story. I want people to be a part of my story, and also I might need some help a little bit in some ways. Like, say for example, back in 2012, I did not ask people for help with how to go to Vietnam. Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe that might be a bad example. I don't remember exactly if I asked for help or not. Maybe a little bit, but usually to say if that was an example, that would be an example. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but you can imagine that I don't ask for help for everything, and there's a reason for that, because there's a difference between what I ask for and what I don't ask for. Like, if I'm not asking, why not? You know, if I'm just a crybaby and stuff. Like, some people might say that Joey Arnold Oatmeal is a crybaby, but if I'm not, then maybe I'm not, because, you know, these are examples of when I'm not and stuff, and you know, I just try my best to but sometimes, I don't know, you know, sometimes I just don't know. Sometimes I just don't know exactly what to do. I like how I'm just pretending to talk on the phone, but not talking on the phone. I'm recording myself, doing this for therapy and stuff. Been talking for just 11 minutes. Normally I make a video for like 30 minutes or an hour for the daily diary, and it's adding up to a lot of gigabytes on my hard drives and stuff. I'm running out of space, so wondering to myself, what should I do? I like to just yammer, talk and stuff, and say stuff like you know what I'm doing stuff. But it's not really a good habit to just talk like this and make videos like this. It's a little bit interesting, but you know, trying to talk from the top of my head and saying stuff about my life and everything as an online video diary, it's kind of fun, but a little bit maybe counterproductive, maybe a little bit not to the point. Like, you want to be direct sometimes, you want to be to the point, and you want to get your words out as fast as possible, but you don't want to be too redundant. You don't want to be too repetitive like an old person. I was just watching one of the episodes in the 4th season of Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman, the TV show about Superman from the 90s. And you know, in it, like, some people got old because of a machine, and some other people got young. And then they were trying to figure out how to reverse it and stop it, and because some criminals were trying to get away, they got out of jail, and they wanted a new life, and they wanted to live forever and stuff, and so, you know, Superman's trying to help, and Lois Lane is trying to help, and then they were talking to the doctor, and the doctor told Lois, you know, you're gonna be really old, and Superman's still gonna be young. And so then she was looking at herself, and she saw herself as old and everything. That kind of makes me sad and stuff for a couple of reasons, emotional and stuff, because, you know, you think about it. Number one, when you're old, are you gonna be sad and angry and stuff? Like, look at Betty White, for example. She's probably 90 years old now, about 90 years old or so, and she's pretty happy and stuff. Some people can be very happy. Clint Eastwood, Chuck Norris, Donald Trump is 71 years old. He's turning 72 this year in 2018. And people can get old, and people can live a long time. Some people can be 100 or 200. You probably wouldn't know if you don't already know that some people have lived over 200 years. Maybe some Japanese people, maybe not recently, maybe 100 years ago or something, people were living longer People are getting older and stuff. A lot of times people don't really know that. They don't think about that because like at school and everywhere, people are like, oh no, you can't do that. You can't live that long. And they tell you, well, the average age was a lot younger. And so, in other words, they tell you that people lived shorter a long time ago. That's not true. That's the average age. Like, because a lot of babies died or were killed, or you would die when you're younger, like in the first 10 years. In the first 10 years of your life, you would probably die, or the first 20. So that brings down the average. But if you get over that, then you're probably gonna live a lot longer, and longer than people nowadays. But you have to get past the statistics of what the average might be. People don't want to take the time to look at that. All they know is what they're told, and they don't want to look past that, and that's too bad. So I wanted to be maybe more specific about what I did and what I'm doing today, Thursday. Maybe say a few things. Said a few things already, but if there's anything else I've left off, maybe I'll just write about it somewhere, like on steam.com or something, and maybe make a video about it tomorrow, maybe. And I'm gonna stop and just work on everything and try to see, what I can do and everything, like I do every day. Figure out, do I still want to run away and stuff and everything, and what's going on, and how do I make a difference, and where does God want me to be, kind of thing. I'm still trying to figure that out, and looking at some of the letters of some of the people I knew over the years, like this morning especially, it kind of makes me wonder and stuff, and wonder, what's my destiny, what's God's plan for me and everything. And everybody's going through that, or should go through that, because life is better when you take care of each moment. That's what Superman said to Lois, like, it's each moment that counts, and that really matters. And he gave up his life, like Jesus, like not all his life. He didn't die, but he went in the machine to make the other people younger, and that helped a lot, and that's really, really good. It's good to love. That's why God didn't make us like robots, and we have the opportunity and because we have the opportunity to love, we also have the opportunity to not love, and that's what love is all about. You have to choose to do it, so you have to have the freedom. So God gave us the freedom, and some of us do good and some of us do bad, and sometimes we do good and bad and stuff, and that's kind of how the cookie crumbles. And otherwise, if God made us like robots, then we wouldn't have love and everything. And you could say, well, that'd be great because nobody would do bad, but nobody would do love either, because you can't have love without consequences of not loving. Like, you have to get to that place, and you have to go through the process and everything, and life is better that way, okay? And well, it's yeah, you just I don't know what to say, but I decided to stop talking for a second as the guy went by. The guy is the smoking guy, not to be confused with the smoking guy from the X-Files. And I just watched through all the seasons. The 11th season is coming out this year in 2018, soon probably, and let's see that we're if you don't know, we're in Cornelius, and I grew up near here in Forest Grove, born in 85 in Forest Grove, small city. This is even a smaller city. They're making a new library for Cornelius, and this is a new fire department. And well, the fire department's been around for a few years, since maybe 2008 or something. But it's good. They're working on stuff, and people are growing. The economy is growing. A lot of good things are happening, and And some people think that bad things are happening in America and that things are getting worse, but things are actually getting better in a lot of ways. I mean, some things are getting worse, but overall, in a very general way, a lot of things are getting better. The economy, the stock market, unemployment is down, a lot of great things. And you just got to go to drudgereport.com, drudgereport.com, and infowars.com, and newswars.com. And you can find out what's happening. Otherwise, you're not going to know and stuff if you don't know. Go let people know if you don't have anything better to do. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what you used to do. And it's probably better if you, let people know, ask people questions. And I kind of feel like I want to do it a little bit, and sometimes I'm a little bit concerned about where I live, so I want to have a good place where I live, around people who are red-pilled enough. I mean, to an extent, like, people are not going to be perfect. People are not going to always, like, agree with you and everything. And I know that, so as I get older, I start to understand that a little bit better. So I know that things are not always going to be perfect, that people are going to agree with me and everything, totally, always, and everything and stuff. But it's at least a little bit better. People are able to be a little bit civilized around you, open to discussion, debate, to talk about their differences and stuff. You know that the left kind of say that. They say, yeah, we got to do that. Hillary Clinton, Obama, other people on the left. The progressive liberal left. They're all around the world, and especially in America, in education, Hollywood, in sports like the NFL, in politics. They're the swamp. We're trying to drain the swamp and make America great again and everything. In 2017, 2018, and beyond. And we do the most we can. And they'll kind of say that they do it, but they don't. They can say, oh yeah, we're open to discussion and stuff, but then they don't have discussions. And so you got to look for hypocrites, people that say one thing but then do another. And the left does that more than the right. The right can do it a little bit, and you got to be careful about what is left and what is right. I mean, think about the difference between what is left and what is right, and think about, how do you know if something's left or right? Something's not left just because somebody says it's left, and somebody can't be right just because they're right. Just because they say they're right. Like, you're not gonna be an elephant if you say you're an elephant. You're not gonna be a dog or a cat just because you say you are. So somebody can say, I'm a Democrat. They might not be a Democrat. Somebody can say, I'm a Republican, and they might not be a Republican. Especially at the top, like the people, like people like John McCain, for example. He says he's a Republican, but he's liberal. He's on the left, but he says he's on the right. That's just one example. And that's what the swamp is. They have these two parties, but it's not really two parties, because the right and the left, so-called, are really both on the left. So don't get distracted by the labels, because the labels are just covers and masks. And you got to go deep inside what they really believe and what they really do, and that's who they really are. You got to find out who they really are, not just who they say they are, because they're trying to just confuse people by saying, oh, I am right, and the other person says, oh, and I am on the left, and the other person says, and I am on the right, and the other person says, and I am on the left, and they're not really on the left or right. They're both on the left, or whatever the bad side is. I think I call the left the bad side. That's what I call it. But the left is all about control and stuff, and it's the opposite of like freedom. Now, freedom is dangerous, especially when you feel like, if you're a baby, like literally a baby, or figuratively, like if you feel like you need help from Big Brother, from the government, you want government to get bigger and to help you with the welfare and everything, socialism, communism, and all this kind of stuff, then you go to the left, to the Democrats, and you say, oh, help me and stuff, and they'll tell you, yeah, we can help you, and you can't do it by yourself and everything. If you're a black person, if you're a single mom, if you're this or that or whatever, disabled or whatever. And in some cases, people kind of need help and stuff, and so maybe you can get help a little bit from the government. But to what extent and what are the consequences? Because, like, the government gets big, maybe the government gets too big, and why not people help people? Why not churches and non-profit organizations and certain, people and, good people, Samaritan Purse and Salvation Army and other people help, us, why can't it be part of capitalism where, it's people competing against other people to help and stuff, instead of just a monopoly, like something like the government or some big corporations that are making monopolies out of themselves and everything, like Google and Facebook and Apple and Microsoft and Amazon and Twitter. This is the bigger one, the biggest ones. And it's okay to become big and to compete. That's what capitalism and competition is all about. You can become really big, but then as soon as you start to compete, not compete, but the opposite, as soon as you start to collude, like unfairly, unfairly, like with the government and everything, and you shut down the competition, then it's not really capitalism. It's not really competition. If there's no competition, then there isn't any competition, kind of thing. Think about that logically speaking, and that's just a little bit unfair because, what is capitalism? Capitalism isn't a crony. Capitalism is not a thing that is unfair to a bigger extent, too big of an extent. People will always say that capitalism is not fair because, the rich people get richer and the poor people get poorer, but that's always going to happen, and people are not equal. There's equality that people try to fight for, and it's good to fight for freedom and stuff, to compete and to try and have an equal playing field, so to speak. But to what extent? Because we're not always gonna do the same as other people. Some people are gonna do better. Some people are not gonna do better, and you're gonna have to suffer the consequences from that. Yeah. And you just have to, if you're red-pilled already like me, and you agree, then ask people questions about it and have discussions, and slowly and over time maybe they'll wake up and stuff, or they'll just continue to believe whatever they believe, and if they do, that's okay. You can move on and stuff and agree to disagree, whatever. Stuff like that and whatever. So just eat more oatmeal and try your best.